Oh, good vibes. Yeah, good vibes. Yeah, good vibes. It feels so good. You got good vibes. Good vibes. Every day. Good vibes. Hi, my name is Brett Lawson. I'm talking to you today about the eternal consciousness of one's life. Understanding that you have total control of how you experience life each day. It's sort of like you are what you eat, you are what you believe in life. And we experience life to understand what we don't want so that we can be catapulted into what we really want in life. So, in that aspect, we realize that there are really no right and wrongs in experiencing. Only thing you're basically deciphering what you want to keep and what you want to throw out. But experience is the most important integral part of living because it teaches one to understand what is warranted and what is not. There's a scripture in Genesis that talks about Adam and Eve supposedly disobeyed God when they ate from the tree of good and evil. Now, we omit the main part of that scripture. When God told Adam and Eve, he said, now Adam and Eve is like us. They know good and evil, but I'm going to use it in this aspect. They know good or they know darkness and light. And can't anybody use the word NOW unless they were waiting for something to happen. And contrary to popular belief, we have always looked over that important integral part in the scriptures. That was an activation code that Adam and Eve had to go through in order to become like God. Because again, he says, now Adam and Eve is like us. They know darkness and light. And see, when we experience life, you tell a child, case in point, don't touch the hot stove. It is in the child's DNA to touch that stove so that they will know not to touch it again. This is the same concept that we are to live by in life, realizing that, first of all, God didn't give us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind, meaning peace, and realizing that we have nothing to fear except fear itself. And what I mean by that is that we can't go through life not experiencing things. Case in point, I've experienced a lot of things throughout my decades of living. Toxicity. I had to go through that part of that aspect of my life to realize that it wasn't necessary. But at the time, it was warranted because I was calibrating and trying to find who Brett Lawson really is. And as a result of it now, I live a toxic-free life. My regiment or intaking of toxicity is zero. I mean, even getting to the point where I don't even like to use profanity anymore. My intake of beverages is water. I get high off of life. My lifestyle now is watching my children's children grow. It causes me to have a momentum or a focus, a high that surpasses any false toxicity high. Not saying that you uh, can't go through those type things to get to where I'm talking about I'm at now. You have to experience those low vibrational points in one's life to get to the high vibrational points. And realize if you do not like what you're experiencing in your life at this present day and time, you are the one that is able to change it. The old cliches are out. Basically, he made me, she made me do it. Those are only flawed premises. No one can make you do anything. You decide to do something because of your belief system. You've heard the term, no, she made me cheat on her. When in all actuality, it was the lust or the desire inside of you that did it. You see? And what I'm saying is, if you don't like the way your life is going, then it is your ball, your bat, your backyard, and you play this game called life until you get it right, until you win. The whole concept of life is to enjoy your life journey, not looking to reach the pinnacle of life, but in enjoying it. It's sort of like what I'm seeing now as I'm explaining to you about enjoying the journey of life. It's like Dorothy and the Scarecrow and the Lion and the Tin Man going down the yellow brick road skipping on their way to see the Oz, but they're enjoying. They're experiencing the flying monkeys, the witches. All that is an adventure, you see. But it's the way you look at it. And you got to start looking at life as an adventure. Because when you take the concept of living life as an adventure, then it's all good. It's all positive. And that's what is keeping us as humanity from actually experiencing a joy-filled life. It's the way we believe. Oh, the devil's on my back. Oh, I'm having a hard time. Well, guess what? With you making those type of confessions, you're actually creating that type of experience for your life. And in order for those things to change, you must begin to speak faith-filled words. Like, I'm having a wonderful day. If there's an overcast outside, say something like, "Oh, but it's a great day today." Or if you're not feeling good and you can feel a cold coming on, say that you're healed because healing comes from within. It comes from the way you believe. It comes from the way one thinks. And God has put all of this experience in our life so that we can pick and choose how we're going to respond to it. Notice I said the operable word respond instead of react. There are two different aspects. When one responds, he sits back and takes a woosah and get from the innermost being of himself the wisdom that he's gathered, a momentum of wisdom that one has incurred through life. When one reacts, he basically do it in a spontaneous way of saying, like, just fuck it all or forget it, I don't want to deal with it. And when you react, you actually are responding to the egotistic side of life. And see, the ego is actually not a good ally because egotistic keeps you in drama. It keeps one in competition. It keeps one in all types of unforgiveness type mentalities and causing people to begin to compare one another to each other. And so what we must do when we start wanting to change our life is to what we call a ego death, to where the ego is no longer primary in one's life, but begin to get in touch with the inner being, your subconscious. That's God. I use the term source. Source is within us. He's not somewhere in the cloud. He's not looking down at us and judging us. He was so methodical in designing us that he put himself in us. the inner being, the Holy Spirit, the subconscious, all in one and in and of the same. And once we begin to start coming in line with the subconscious, we actually begin to start transforming to a creative ability, our true essence of who we really are. And that is the whole goal of experiencing life, is to remember how and why you came into this physical realm. See, you've always existed. You're an eternal. The etymology of spirit means eternal, means energy, you see. And so you have to begin to go through life so that your memory is jogged back into position so that you can begin to walk into your purpose. But see, as a child, if you ever studied a child, when a baby, an infant first come into the 3D physical life, he looks at his body, plays with his belly button, plays with his private parts and everything, because he's saying, I made it, I'm physical, you see? But as we go on in life, we actually forget, because we are infiltrated through traditions of what our parents, what our government, what our teachers have told us. And so we actually get hypnotized in losing our true essence, our true purpose of who we really are and and what we're really here to do. Each one of us chose to come into this physical realm to do a great purpose, to do something great in this experience. And it's through the rigors of life, through the traditions, and through knowing what we don't want to get what we want, that we come back to that true essence of who we really are. You see, case in point, I have been through so many letdowns in my life, and it was all methodically planned that way. I've experienced jealousy, I've experienced abandonment, and all kinds of things. And it was methodically designed that way so that I could pick and choose what I didn't want and what didn't feel good in my life, so that now I am where I am now. I don't take nothing away from my past experiences. My past experiences actually catapulted me to where I am now. You see, and where I am now, I'm living my best life. There is nothing or no one can separate me from my eternal consciousness, from my subconscious, from my inner being, which is God, which is the creator. I get the resources I need in order to stay happy and in order to continue to pursue happiness in my life. This is what life is all about. So when you say things like, oh, I'm a failure, oh, I just messed up and I can't seem to get it right, actually, you are writing the narrative for your experience. And you will continue to be a failure. You will continue to experience being a loser, because you are what you believe. But God never designed for it to be like that. He wanted us to experience those negative aspects in life so that we can see that we have another DNA, and it's an eternal DNA. And that eternal DNA says, no, that doesn't feel good. Get rid of that. Now, it doesn't matter how many times you have to go through it, but as long as you begin to realize that this is not profitable or warranted for my life in order for me to get where I know I need to be, where I know I want to be, where I know that I can help humanity by being the true essence of which God has created me to be in this physical realm. Life is good, but it can only be perceived good as you change your paradigm of thinking. The way one thinks is so important. It's just like on a computer. You get downloads. And when you get negative downloads, it becomes a hard drive. And that hard drive becomes a reality in your life. So, in order to change one's life, you must begin to get good downloads. You see, begin to realize that you are the author and finisher of your faith. The etymology of faith is simply means belief. What is your belief? What is your faith? You see, and understand these things. Understand that we're going through this physical experience of life to catapult us into the purpose in which we came here. Because each one of us chose to come here. We chose our parents. We chose our family. And the only reason we cannot recollect those things is because of toxicity. It's because of negative downloads. Once you begin to understand that you have a choice in changing the way you feel about life, once you actually begin to see that, then you're on your way to a prosperous, happy life. You see, alchemy. You must begin to understand what alchemist means. Alchemist is actually simply taking lemons and making lemonade from it. When people or life deals lemons to you, alchemize that and change it into something sweet and thirst quenching like lemonade. Or taking copper and turning it into gold. Taking a negative situation and turning it into a profitable, positive situation, a profitable aspect of one's life. This last contrast I went through, I tell you, it was something at the time I thought that all hell had broken loose. And I thought that basically, I could never recover. But as I began to humble myself and began to go into my meditational states, God began to give me downloads and let me know that He had orchestrated the whole thing so that I could come to this point or this conscious way of talking right now. You see? And as a result of it, I would take nothing away from the last contrast I went through. Matter of fact, I'll take nothing away from none of the contrasts I've been through in life. They've all have had their integral important part in getting me to even sit here and talk to you today. Life has fashioned me and caused me to be who I am as a result of experiencing life and not being afraid and not shrinking from it. You see? I used to be an avid smoker, avid drinker, avid drugs, everything. You name it, I've done it. But here I am today to say that I am totally free from all that as a result of who I know that God created me to be. But I had to go through the hot stove syndrome in order to realize that stove burns, it hurts. And I had to get tired of being sick and tired of hurting. So realize the things that you're going through right now, it is important that you go through it. It is important that you stay focused on your true essence while you're going through it. Whether it's alcoholism, whether it's drugs, whether it's addicted to sex, whatever it is. Understand that it is a methodical plan that the divine, that source has created for you to go through that platform, because it is a platform, because people are seeing you in that state. So everything is a platform. But as you continue to visualize what you want to see truly in your life, it will all of a sudden come into fruition. All of a sudden. But continue to stay focused on what you really want to see good in your life. Through all that toxicity I went through, I never lost focus of who I really, really know that God had made me to be. Maybe people didn't understand it. Maybe I even kept it to myself and it was good, because I was like wanting to blend in with everybody else. That was a part of the egotistic syndrome of the 3D or the third density life. But I'm here to share with you that I no longer live in a 3D or third density life. I've catapulted, or shall I say, metamorphosed into the fifth density of life, which is nothing but complete, pure positive energy, love. In every aspect of my life now, I get to see the God story in everything. It could be a person that is a narcissistic, and they say it's no hope for them. I see the God story. That is such a flawed premise, saying labeling one to say that God can't help that one. That is so BS. But yet you'll be so surprised how many people take that as a reality and stay in that type of mind frame. But see, the God that I know, he can do anything but fail. He can do anything but fail. If he can raise the dead, he can surely deliver a narcissistic, you see. And understand this. And I may be talking to narcissists right now. I may be saying to you right now that there is hope for you. Don't listen to the narratives of the quote unquote professionals saying that there is no hope for a narcissistic person, because that's flawed. That's not real. You're able to change into whatever you want to change into. It's up to you. It's not up to the person that's basically diagnosing you. You see? That's just like with you. I might be talking to somebody that needs healing. They're viewing me right now, and you're in your bed and you're sick and you've been diagnosed with a chronic disease. There is hope. All you have to do is see yourself whole and believe it, and all of your molecules, all of your cells will follow that same trend. Even down to one cell molecules, God is in. But we must begin to understand that our molecules, our cells must line up with the molecules and the cells of God. In layman terms, our vibration, our frequency. You see? We emit a frequency. And if you don't like the emitted frequency that you've been given off, you are the only one that can change that. You see? I go to the gym every single day. I'm enjoying it. That's my favorite pastime now. Watching my body alchemize into something beautiful. It's not only about my physical aspects of life anymore. It's the clarity, the clairvoyance, the understanding that I am actually changing as I'm working out. I'm changing my mental, my spiritual, and my physical life as a result of me realizing that I am an alchemist, that I am the one that is able to change my experience in life. And I just want to share with each and every one of you that you have that same ability in you. I'm nothing special. I've just learned how to alchemize. I've learned that I do not have to receive everything that Tom, Dick, and Harry say that I am. Remember, it is your ball, your bat, your backyard. And you play this game called life until you win. Understand that everything works together for the good of them that love themselves. The word Lord is a word that in interpretation means sir. God is in you. So when you love yourself, you're loving God. When you love yourself, you're worshiping God. Now, contrary to popular belief, people might say, "Oh, he's self exhortation." Yeah, because in order for me to love my neighbor, I got to know how I love myself first. You see, I got to feel good about Brett Darren Lawson first before I can even consider how to love you. And I tell you, I love myself. And you are going to begin to love yourself. I have a download for you right now. I see that the spirit of anguish have been in your life. And today, this anguish is being lifted. Because of the truth, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Because of the truth, anguish is being lifted from your life. Say these words after me. No more anguish. I choose truth. I choose peace. I choose joy. And I choose pure positive energy. I want you to begin to make that a mantra for your life daily. Look at yourself in a mirror when you wake up and say that. No more anguish. Choose truth. And add peace and pure positive energy with it. Love you much. I've enjoyed this time with you. I want you to realize that you are perfect as you continue to go forth in your experiences in life. There is no right or wrong. It's just experiences. There's no failures. It's just tries until you get it right. And also understand that in every aspect of your experience in life, realize this, that there's a God story. God is in everything. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. He doesn't mean that he has a deed on the earth. No, he is the wall. He is the table. His energy is in everything. And so we are an extension of him. Understand that. Love you much, soul family. And until next time, God bless.